Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the second break session of this second cipher of the day. A lot of numbers in there. So hopefully whatever you've been working on has been productive. Hopefully you're making some strides in progress. I'm doing all right. Like my eyes may seem glazed over because I'm learning about like static IPs and like port forwarding and all these things that I as a front end developer and sometimes back end person when need be is just like working on Node and all that stuff, not a problem. But when it comes to like firewalls and setting up DNS stuff and try like I just want to be able to deploy it and just know it's good. I don't have to worry about firewalls and things like that's what the good folks over at like infrastructure and things do. So yeah, so I've been working on that, trying to figure that out. So as a recap, by the way, so feel free to jump in the chat room if you so like to. There's for anybody new, there's the below the video that you're watching, you should see an open closed caption button. Do that. The text to speech shows up and it's experimental, so take that into consideration. And then below that, if there's anything that you find interesting in anything that's being said on the video, you can actually clip it out, and you get 5 clips. When this is all over, I hit stop broadcast. It does a bunch of stuff in the back end where it creates, like, it joins all the highlight clips that you had, and will let you know that you can either download it or do a tweet with it in there. So yeah, see that type of back end stuff, cool, no problem. Like I can do cloud functions all day, no problem. But when it comes to like deploying and then needing to a certain port to be open, and then you have to load balancers and all type of things. Oh, I just want this thing to work. So hey, where there's a will, there's a way. A great philosopher once said, Jay-Z, difficult takes a day, impossible takes a week. So I'm going to work on this and try to get it done. I'm so almost there. So let me show you a demo. But first, let me, how am I going to do this? Yeah, okay. So I showed before what it is I was working on, but let me do a quick recap. Okay, share my screen. I don't believe I'm going to need audio, so I won't be doing that. Okay, share my screen. Cool. Here we go. All right. So a while back, I created a website so that for people who could not make it to meetups physically, I would be able to watch it online. So I would go to, because I was going to the meetups anyway. So I was like, hey, while I'm here, and I've streamed events in the past before, I was like, well, let me just do that here for these meetups. And so I created this site, otech.events, where it not only, so it shows you upcoming events, right? And so you can kind of scroll through and see what's coming up. And then you can find out information about it. Cool. So what's happening is that it's calling from a bunch of groups that I have pre-selected that are in Orlando area, like tech community. And so it pulls from the meetup API every like 3 hours. I think I have the cron job set up for. And so it pulls all these different meetup groups pages, and it gets their latest events, and it puts them here. And now, so what I was doing was I would go to the different events and I would set up my system and so that record them. So I would broadcast them live and then they'd be recorded and they would show up here. So like, for example, this was one of them. Cool. So all this worked out great. And then when the pandemic hit and nobody could go to meetups, I actually created like a dashboard where meetup organizers can log in and stream the events themselves. And so, yeah, you're able to like watch the live events on this site as well. So that went well. So now the new project that I want to work on is kind of similar, but I want it to be even easier for a person to stream. And so, because the way I was doing it before with this, I had to log into this dashboard, then I had to send it to this place and logged in and this thing. And I didn't want the other person who's going to be using it to have to worry about all that. I want it to be just set some, here's some URLs, put it in this thing, and then you're good to go. So when I did my initial research, I figured out that, all right, I need to set up an rtmp server. But everything that I found said you need to set up an Nginx thing, and then some load balancers and all this other stuff and a whole bunch of things. And I was like, nah, I'm cool. Then I found this. Big shouts to ILLUSPAS, Alupus on GitHub. And I don't remember how, I think I was just randomly searching again for rtmp servers, and I found this Node media server. I'm like, media server, what I'm looking for, and Node, awesome. So I went through, and it's pretty straightforward, pretty cool. And so the setting up is not too bad. Like, you just create a directory, cd into the directory, you do the install of the package, and then you create app.js or whatever file. And then you just, here's the configuration for it. Pretty straightforward, kind of awesome. And then you just run it. So then you just do, Node and the file, and you're good to go. Awesome. Got it working locally. Fine. So then I was like, all right, well, I need a place to store it. And I don't believe Firebase is going to do what I need, because like with the cloud functions, they go to sleep after a while. They hibernate. And so I need something that's going to a little bit last longer, I think. So shouts to Fireship.io. I saw a YouTube video of theirs, and they mentioned the 7 different ways that you could deploy your Node app. I'm like, great, just in time. And he mentioned the compute engine, which, again, I just kind of like, my eyes just like glassed over. I was like, no. And the Google App Engine standard, and that seemed to fit what I need. And so I got it deployed, no problem. I could pull up the admin section, great. Put in the password, username, everything works fine. But the issue came when I tried to send from a camera. So I wanted to use, I had a camera here, the Insta360 1R camera, because you can go live with it, and you can set a custom rtmp endpoint. Great. So I tried it, and it wasn't working with the deploy thing. So I didn't know if it was the camera or the deploy. So I was like, all right, let me try with the local and see if I can get that worked out. Had some issues because it's running locally. I needed to expose it, because I figured, hey, I'm just going to use my phone, since I know this camera should be fine and good to go, because I use a program, an app called Streamlabs. Great. And with Streamlabs, I can set a custom rtmp. Cool. Now, so I didn't have to worry about connections and everything, because it Bluetooth to the camera, all this stuff. So I was like, all right, let me start at the base as much as possible. So let me go with the local host. But in order for my phone to be able to connect to it, I needed to port forward the port for the rtmp so that it could reach. So I can pull it up here, and it'll reach the my Chromebook, which is back here, because I develop on a Chromebook. And so I have it running locally on my Chromebook, and then I have the other port open so that I can share it here. So let me hold on, let me stop screen sharing real quick. Let me screen share the actual tab. I think it's this one. All right. So yes. All right. So this is it running locally on my Chromebook back here. Right now, I'm going to use Streamlabs. So as you notice here, CPU usage is very minimal. Memory usage, none. No connections. Take note of that, and the network bandwidth. Now, also, streams. I'll show you streams and the profile. And again, this is all coming from just that one package, the Node Media Server. And if I can get this worked out, I'm going to get him multiple cups of coffee. This is great. All right, so Let me pull up Streamlabs real quick. Streamlabs. I had this open before. Okay, Streamlabs. Now, check this out. Notice the connections, okay? So I'm going to go live because I already have the custom RTMP set up. And cool. So now that I have port forwarding, that means that other devices on the same network, so they have to be on the same Wi-Fi network to be able to access it. Cool. So I'm going to do the custom RTMP, put in a random stream title. Sure. Go live. Bam. You saw that go up? That's because I'm connected. And what's cool is now if I go to streams, it was blank before, but now we have this test one that I put in here. So when it and it gives you all this information and stuff, it's pretty cool. And the codec and all this other stuff. Now, when I click test, it'll bring up I can hear myself. It's a good thing I didn't share the audio because that'd be weird. It's throwing me off now. Okay, let me mute the audio. All right, so now here is the actual video from my phone being streamed to my locally running server there. And this is pretty much what I wanted. And so this is kind of amazing. So I'm almost there. I'm getting there. And so not too bad. If anybody knows anything, so now the thing is, I believe I need to, because I think the issue is with the deployed one, is that the .appspot.com doesn't allow for other types of ports or something like that. Something I'm trying to understand. So the only way for that to work is if I have like a static IP address, but then I don't think you get a static IP address. So I'm not sure. So I don't know if I can send it to another domain and that'll work. I don't know. These are the things I have to try to figure out. So if anybody knows, has done anything like this before, please feel free to reach out to me because I'm pulling up all these different articles and things, and you gotta love it when it seems like the issue that you're looking for is like right there, and you click the link and it goes to like a 404 page in the documentation. I'm like, oh, that is awesome. So I'm kind of dealing with that. And yeah, so if anybody has any ideas about how this works out, please let me know. What else? But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So that's where I'm at now. I'm almost there. I'm so close. And once I can get this working on the deployed version, I can start working on some other aspects. So hopefully maybe next week I'll have something more on my findings. But yeah, so once again, thank y'all for hanging out. Let me stop this. So when I stop it now, so I click OK, I hit stop broadcasting, yes. And then it stopped. And when I refresh it, see, it's gone. And everything's back to like 0. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, that's where I'm at now. So if anybody has any like experience with Node Media Server or just being able to, let me stop this screen share. So yeah, so if anybody has any experience with Node Media Server or like Google App Engine Standard or anything like that, or just getting like an RTMP endpoint server thing working, feel free to hit me up so we can talk about it. So again, thank y'all for hanging out. If anybody has any show and tell stuff that they want to do, the next break is the last opportunity. So feel free to sign up. If not, I'm going to go over an independent artist's website and just maybe listen to some music. All right. So again, thank y'all for hanging out. I'm going to get you all on your way. Hopefully everything is productive for you. I'm doing pretty good. Like it feels good to like I said, I've never done this before. Well, in small chunks, nothing of this scale. I always try to grow a little bit more and more and more with everything. So yeah, so this one is a stretch. I've never like done at this kind of scale before. So we'll see. All right, so let you on your way. Thank you very much for hanging out. I'm going to get the outro music worked out. Let me I have way too many windows open. I've got to get better at this. Where is it? This one. Cool. All right. Again, thank you all for hanging out. And yeah. See you 15 minutes after the hour. All right. Thanks. Let me get the screen share. This one. Good. Cool. All right, y'all. Thanks again.
But let me start from the heart. I just want to stay. I thank you all for showing love to me. I appreciate this unique opportunity. I'm gonna rock so hard you never stop supporting me. I'm gonna show you how music is more meaning to life. I thank you all for showing love to me. I appreciate this unique opportunity. I'm gonna rock so hard you never stop supporting me. I'm gonna show you how music is more meaning to life. But let me start from the heart. I just want to stay. I thank you all for showing love to me.